Built in 1927 by the Lima Locomotive Works for the Texas and Pacific Railroad, I-1AR Class 210-4 No. 610 was the result of a modification to the Lima Locomotive Works A1 Berkshire design. The T&P liked the A1 but requested an extra driving wheel. These were the first 210-4s ever built, which gave the T&P the ability to name the wheel arrangement. Naturally, they named the type Texas. A heavy freight engine through and through, the big 210-4s were initially limited to 45 miles per hour in service due to balancing issues with the weights of the rods, wheels, and running gear that had them almost jumping up and down as they went down the track at high speed. Just prior to World War II, the T&P overhauled all of the 210-4s to improve the balancing. After the installation of new rods and driving wheels, the engines could reportedly push 70 miles per hour without hammering the track too badly. The T&P took the Texas types out of service in 1950, and two were set aside for preservation. Number 638 was placed on display at the State Fair of Texas grounds in Dallas, and number 610 was displayed outside the Will Rogers History Museum in Fort Worth. In 1955, vandalism and damage to the 638 resulted in the locomotive being scrapped, and over time concerns were raised about the same happening to 610, as she too had been vandalized several times. In 1969, with the planned redevelopment of the Will Rogers Museum site looming, the 610 Foundation was formed and acquired the locomotive. The foundation moved 610 to several places with hopes of restoring her to running condition and running excursions in the state of Texas. But no railroad was willing to host the locomotive, and fundraising proved to be a challenge. When the American Freedom Train was announced, the foundation inquired as to whether 610 could pull the train in Texas and possibly further. The AFT organizers said that she could pull the train in Texas if she was ready in time. A major fundraising push began, and 610 was moved to the Fort Worth stockyards where restoration work began. With the help of many backers ranging from wealthy individuals to an elementary school, 610 moved again under her own power in January of 1976. She pulled a test train on the Fort Worth and Denver, but was delayed by a hot brass bearing. A few months later, SP 4449 handed the Freedom Train over to 610, and she took it on its tour of the state of Texas before handing it back to 4449, partly due to more bearing issues. In 1977, the Southern Railway's steam program was looking for a bigger engine, and approached the 610 Foundation about leasing the 210-4. The Foundation agreed, and 610 ran many trips on the Southern. However, hot bearings continued to plague the locomotive, and caused quite a few problems for Southern operations. Eventually, the Southern leased C&O Kanawha number 2716 from the Kentucky Railway Museum, and returned 610 to Texas in 1981. 610 would be displayed and considered for excursion projects that never came about until she was evicted from her display site in 1986. The 610 Foundation elected to donate the engine to the Texas State Railroad. Today, 610 sits comfortably in the Palestine shops of the Texas State Railroad. She reportedly is in decent mechanical condition, and the Texas State Railroad has stated they are willing to lease her to a serious group with a plan to run her. That being said, her titanic size and weight make her a difficult locomotive to find a place for in the modern railroad world. Still, for now, she sits right at home, deep in the heart of Texas.